Nuclear Threats and Warfare by Caden Ib, Rayon Galra, and Logan Cheong. General information about nukes. Nuclear weapons are the most dangerous weapons on Earth. One can destroy a whole city, potentially killing millions and jeopardizing the natural environment and lives of future generations through its long term catastrophic effect. Many countries attempt to harness nuclear power due to its high yield. However, the risks that come with it are very high as well. The process of creating and using nuclear energy is very dangerous and has to be very controlled. Nuclear weapons itself are defined as explosive devices that get their power from nuclear reactors after the process of fission and fusion.
Process of how nuclear products form. Nuclear energy is created through a process called nuclear fission. This is where the nucleus of a heavy atom, typically uranium 235 or plutonium 239, is split into smaller parts when struck by a neutron. The splitting of the nucleus releases a significant amount of heat energy, along with more neutrons that can continue to chain the reaction. The heat that is generated by nuclear energy can be used to produce steam, which can drive turbines to generate electricity. On the more dangerous side, large amounts of nuclear radiation can form bombs and power plants that can explode and cause heavy damage. This can form when the neutrons cause a huge chain of reaction, building up a lot of energy and causing a huge explosion.
By trying to harness the power of nuclear energy, there was a nuclear explosion that killed 600,000 people and contaminated over 5 million people. Chernobyl is an example of a nuclear explosion. The radius left over made the place inhabitable for decades and caused surrounding areas like Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine to have increased radiation. The radiation was so extreme that people got burned immediately in a 10-kilometer radius, and people in a 20 to 30-kilometer radius got cancer.
Another example is the Fukushima disaster. In Fukushima, there were three radioactive power plants. An earthquake had struck Fukushima, causing a tsunami to form. The tsunami ended up hitting all three of the nuclear power plants, which killed around 2,000 people and injured around 15,000 more. The event had occurred in 2001, and there are still parts of Fukushima that are radioactive. However, it has decreased a lot and it isn't uniform, which means it isn't all in one place, so most of it is still possible to breathe in, but other parts aren't. The earthquake that struck Fukushima had a 9.0 magnitude, and the tsunami that formed was 133 feet high.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The US launched atomic bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima in order to enact their revenge for the attack on Pearl Harbor. Widespread radiation is still evident in Japan. The nuclear weapons that were used against Japan during World War II had left small doses of radiation that can be harmful to humans today. By the end of the war, there are around 140,000 people that died in the events in Hiroshima and around 70,000 more who died in the events of Nagasaki. There were also 100,000 more that were injured or later died by radiation. This had caused Japan to surrender and to prevent any invasion to Japan, as it could have been much worse with them, with more nuclear bombs.
In order to stop the use of nuclear weapons on each other, countries have taken the initiative to create treaties between each other. They have created alliances, and these treaties prolong the period of peace in the world and creates partnerships between countries. Many countries and policies behind them support the idea of disarming numerous nuclear weapons. This is when a country removes all access to nuclear weapons. This ensures trust between two countries and forging an alliance. There is a policy to where countries are not allowed to use nukes unless they are stricken first by one. This allows countries to limit their use of nukes but still be able to use them in case they are in danger.
Solutions other countries are enforcing. Sole authority. The power of a single ruler is only allowed to issue the nuke. However, in many countries, the government can overtake if a president incorrectly uses the nuke. De-alerting. This reduces the readiness of nukes by making them inactive temporarily. This lowers any accidental events to occur and builds trust between countries as they know the country's nukes are inactive. NTP, which is also known as Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, is a treaty that is aiming to prevent the spread of nuclear technology and resonate to more peaceful terms.
Solutions we are enforcing. The U.S. is a signatory to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, NPT, which seeks to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and promote peaceful nuclear energy use. The Defense Treaty Threat Reduction Agency, DTRA, plays a pivotal role in countering weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. It works to detect, deter, and eliminate threats posed by nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons.
Happy birthday, Sean.
It's the bibliography.
Thank you for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank you guys for watching our presentation.